So you diet for weeks on end, months on end. You go to the gym and train to sculpt your physique, to look ripped and good. That's all you have to do, and then you just go up there and do this.
You have to love the sport and be passionate about to do it. Like, what do you think about somebody saying, yeah, maybe I'm going to compete? I'm not sure. What would you tell that person? I'm not sure if I want to compete.
I think that you need to be sure that you want to compete. Meaning, like, you don't need to be certain of what it's going to be like to compete. I think you just need to commit. If you say, I think I want to compete, I think you need to decide right then and there, am I going to compete or not? And if you say yes, then that's your commitment to yourself. And once you've committed to yourself, you follow through. And that's what I did for me. Was I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. So that means I'm going to compete. So I will compete in the show.
You've done a lot of different sports. I mean, has anything even compared to the difficulty of getting into bodybuilding condition? Because I've done it all. No. There's no comparison. And Larry Wheel said, I've done a lot of the arm wrestle, strongman, I've done it all. There's nothing like this. He has so much respect for bodybuilders because he's like, I now know how hard it is.
So I don't know if you're familiar, but I was a collegiate wrestler at one period of time. Yeah, I wrestled in college, and that was tough. I mean, that's really the cream of the crop. That's the guys in the NCAAs. Those are the ones that are typically going to be going into the Olympics, or at least the Olympic trials. So there's some of the best guys in the world, right? So that being said, I was at the collegiate level of wrestling, which is an incredibly tough sport. And I was dieting hard
to make the weight,
but not dieting like a bodybuilder. No. I was dieting like a wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay. And fighters do the same thing. I think fighting, wrestling, they diet. Most of them don't diet right.
They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think if someone like us were to come into the sport and help them diet properly and understand nutrition, I think that would revolutionize the sport itself. That's another topic.
It is.
But
yeah.
Anyway, I thought that for a long time. I thought to myself, when I first learned that like there's this thing called the NPC, IFBB Pro League, Mr. Olympia, there's competition in bodybuilding, because I didn't know. I was like, there's these big guys in the gym. What do you do? You're not a football player. What are you? Well, we're bodybuilders. What's bodybuilding? Oh, I compete. Oh, there's a Mr. Olympia. Oh, okay, connecting the dots. So then I say, well, what do you do when you compete? Do you lift weights? No, we pose, we flex.
You're that naive at the time. What age? Are you a teenager?
No, I was in college.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew about bodybuilding at 13.
No, this is after my wrestling career. Yeah. I transferred schools, and I didn't have to a school that didn't have wrestling. I kind of just like stopped my wrestling.
You're like, journey. Now what? I'm missing the dopamine, the challenge. I need something.
I need to compete in something, and bodybuilding. Okay, so you diet for weeks on end, months on end. You go to the gym and train to sculpt your physique, to look ripped and good. That's all you have to do, and then you just go up there and do this. Sign me up. This sounds really easy because I'm already dieting, I'm already training, and then I have to go out and fight somebody.
Yeah.
I just take the fighting out of it, and I do one of those. Sounds pretty easy to me.
Yeah.
Until I did it. And then once I did my first NPC show, I realized this is absolutely the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
I think I like bodybuilding because of the challenge. I did so many sports, and it's like the harder the effort, the greater the reward. Like, I honestly think because you didn't win the Olympia last year, this year means that much more. Because you had to work for 2 years. Like, I mean, you worked your whole life for it, but it's that much closer. The harder you get to it, it means that much more.
I don't know if this is going to come off right and make sense to people, but I'm very much happy that I didn't win last year.
I totally get it.
Like, I didn't want to win with that physique. Even though I felt like it could have been a Mr. Olympia worthy physique, to me, I had better. I wanted to win better. Not only that, but maybe like what you said, maybe getting a taste of that second place, it made me all that much hungrier. I don't know.
I think so. I can't relate to being Olympia, but I mean, when I turned pro and it took 50 shows to get there, I imagine it the same feeling. It's just at a higher level.
Yeah.
Like winning that first novice show was pretty special, the provincials and the nationals, and no matter what level you're at, it's still a win. It still feels special. Like you're the best bodybuilder in the world, but somebody who trained their ass off for their first local novice show and they won, they're on cloud 9. I feel almost the same as you are. It's like it's always just one step better than you've been.
I'll tell you what, at the time, and let's take it back to NPC days whenever I didn't get my pro card in 2016, I took second. Or let's take it back to like 2018, 2019, 2020 in the 212. Those times of loss in the moment suck. It's terrible. It's the worst feeling you can possibly have. Now in hindsight, I am so so thankful for that. I am so thankful for the loss. It teaches you so much, and it makes you appreciate things so much more.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like someone that gets something given to them versus earning it.
Absolutely.
So even though like you feel like you're going out and earning it every single day, and you know you just want to win, sometimes it's good to be checked a little bit and have that loss and keep going, because you're going to appreciate things so much more when you do get it. You're going to take pride in the hard work that you've done and the perseverance that you went through to achieve what you wanted to achieve.
Reward without effort is one of the worst things you can do for human beings. Like if I just said, hey, here's $1 million, you're nice.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go to school, you didn't have to work for it, then you get that $1 million to spend, I give you another $1 million.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I cut you off.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't learned anything, you're just like, where's my $1 million?
Yeah.
But if you work hard to make $100,000 and you earned it, it means way more than being handed out the $1 million.
And gratitude is so important. You have to be grateful too. So
important to learn how to lose. I did all that. I got by the and when you win too easily, it's not fun. There's no. I almost imagine it's almost not fun for Christian. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But had he had second last year, then imagine coming back.
Winning
is fun, but you need the challenge. But I mean, he has challenges like his last But
no, man,
if it's too easy, you having two guys that are kind of like, you know, up there, that's more fun.
I just think that there's challenges when you're on a mountaintop. There's challenges when you hit rock bottom, right? And we know that when you're at rock bottom, or you know something didn't go your way, is challenging. We don't think about the challenges when you're on the mountaintop either. You're always being tested under circumstances, and I think that experiencing them both is what's gonna be best for you to be a true champion and be your best self. And or just maybe take sports out of it and just life in general. For you to be your best, experiencing both highs and lows in life is what I think is gonna, you know, ultimately help you be the best you.
Without sadness, you can't truly be happy. Because how would you know what happiness feels like without sadness?
Yeah.
It's so important. Like, I don't think people understand these things. I feel like the younger generation. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30. I'm 48. So I'm like a whole generation. There's a generation below you. I feel like they've lost it. It's just a totally different world now with the internet. People don't talk in person anymore.
Well, you hear that kind of in all generations, right?
Yeah.
Generation after generation. So I think one, we have to consider how long we've been on this planet versus someone else. So when you were that age, you were probably the same way. You thought you knew more than you really did.
I definitely thought I knew way more than I should.
And you hadn't experienced all the things you've experienced yet.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that you got to give it to the younger people that they haven't went through those things yet, and they will eventually go through them. So, you know, us talking about that now, that going through hardships, going through disappointment it's actually an opportunity. It's actually a good thing. It is. And it's just like going to the gym and training, right? You don't come here to just, oh, have fun, this is easy. You're here to work. You're here to get under some weight and challenge yourself, and that's how you actually build the muscle, right? That's how you build strength. Same is true about life, is that when you go through something that's weighing you down and you can overcome that, that's how you build your character and build strength. So
if you can bodybuild, you can go through life. It helps you. If you apply the same values to relationships, to work, to anything, being able to go in the gym, work hard for something and fail sometimes. You can't set a PR every day. Some days are up, some days are down. It's the same like anything in life.
It's literally why I said, like, at the time of hardship and the time of loss, it sucks. It sucks so bad. And you're questioning, why me? And like, why can't I just get what I deserve? But then in hindsight, you realize, oh, there is a reason for it. And man, I am so thankful that I didn't get what I wanted at the time, because if I would have got what I wanted at the time, it would have completely taken me down a different path in life that it would have really just ruined who I am. And I like who I am today. I appreciate, you know, the fact that I was able to go through that and come out on the other end better.
I've done a lot of things in life where I regret, but I'm older, and I'm like, I wouldn't have been where I am now had I not gone through those silly times and learned from it. But that's the main thing. You have to analyze what you've done, process it, and then grow from it.
Exactly. So
when you lose a bodybuilding show or anything, it only lasts the hurt. For me, 2 days.
No, not me.
I'm like,
not me.
I'm like so upset. Like, I've done some shows, I'm like, oh my God, my life is over.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later, I'm like on to the next one.
I will say the first time I didn't feel like truly like pit in my stomach, sick, sad, disappointed, was last year. Last year was the first time where I
almost take it personally. You almost didn't.
Yeah, like what could I have done more? Like, you know, or I don't know. I think
you improved so much. How could you be disappointed with the result?
Exactly.
Really?
I think my mindset changed. I matured a lot in life, but in my professional career, because early on, I mean, when I didn't get what I wanted, I didn't get that win, that first place. It really bothered me a lot for an entire year. All year long, I was drawing my motivation from a negative place. That's why I was saying earlier is that I can't allow myself to do that anymore. I have to hone in on the positives of what I'm doing. And if I win, then great, that's what I wanted, it's what I worked for. If I don't win, well, then I need to look at the positives in terms of like the people around me. I get to do what I love. Look at all the blessings that have been given, you know, through this, and how many people would love to be in the position that I'm in. And this is all before this past weekend. This is not just today. This is, you know, before winning Mr. Olympia. So I don't know. I think honing in on that rather than like letting my identity be the placings. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go train.
Awesome.
We got to do some training if we want to end still.
Next time on Coach Greg.
I just learned how to walk. I just trip going back. I should have been better by now. Living on a boat chapter. 13, I was on smoke. Zazani, I was on the coast. 10